Salutations and welcome to Shauna's Kitchen, where every day is a new day, and today we're making Swiss Meringue Buttercream. You're going to need 7 ingredients to do this, and that's going to be real lemon juice, which we're actually only using to clean the appliances because you cannot have any grease or oil. So I've already cleaned it. You can see in the bottom there, I have some. I've already cleaned my KitchenAid, my counters, as well as my whisk attachment for the KitchenAid, and I also have my paddle attachment, which I have a clean paper towel, and I'm just going to clean off the entire thing to ensure that there is nothing on my rubber silicone area, and I'm going to be setting that aside. But I wanted you to see that, and then I'm going to wipe off my trivet and set that down. Now, everything is clean, but I wanted you to know that is going to be my first step. The other thing that you're going to do is you're going to want to take out 1.5 cups of unsalted butter, and you're going to want to cut it while it's still cold and cube it into tablespoons so that it's easier later when we get ready to use it. If you try to cut it when it's soft, which you're going to want to have it at a room temperature but still slightly cold so it holds its shape when you get ready to do the mixing. The other things that you're going to want to gather up, and then we'll get started, but I want you to know to go ahead, get your butter separated, cleaned up, and washed again, so that, yes, I just touched the butter, and I'll go wash again. And then you're going to clean the inside of that, and then go ahead and get together 180 grams, which is about 6 egg whites, and then, you know, separate it out, put your egg yolks in the fridge for another project if you'd like. It's about 3/4 cup for me today. And then it's, so 180 grams, 3/4 cup, or 6 egg whites. However you want to look at that. It's about an approximate. We're going to have 2 cups of granulated sugar, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1/2 teaspoon of butter extract, just for that little extra kick. Those are not going to be used right away. So I'm going to go ahead, and you're going to get a saucepan out, and you're going to want to put your eggs into your saucepan after you have run the vinegar around and made sure there's absolutely nothing in your saucepan. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cleaning up the rest of my stuff with the lemon juice and get stuff moved around and bring you back so you can see the next step, which will be putting our egg whites and our sugar into a saucepan. Don't forget your thermometer. Be right back. Here's the 2 cups of sugar. So what I have done is I've taken my clean bowl that's dried out, and I have put a little bowl down with about 1.5 inches of water. I want to make sure that my bowl isn't touching the water, or it will ruin my eggs. We're getting ready to temper, and we want to mix our sugars. So that's in there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add in my sugar, my 2 cups, and then our 180 grams of egg white. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix this up until the sugar dissolves. I'm going to move you over here so you can take a look at what that's going to look like. And we're going to keep on stirring and whisking this until all the sugar crystals dissolve, and we're going to be 160 degrees on the thermometer. So I'm going to, all right, we got the stove on, medium-low heat. It's mixed up. Wanted to let you see what that looks like. At first, it's kind of going to be white and not really want to go together. But we're just going to keep on doing this, and I'll bring you back when it's closer to the 160 so you can see what that's going to look like as it's changing colors and texture. Here we're at 103, and you can see it's still kind of milky. It's not quite mixed together yet. It's still foamy. I hope you can see that okay. And we're just going to keep on going until we get 160. Alright, so we're going to take a quick peek. Okay, we are up past the 160, so we are going to pull it from the heat right now. Now, as soon as you have it off, you either need to transfer it into your stand mixer, or like I've already done, I have it in there. You're going to go ahead and start mixing on low, and once it gets started, 10-20 seconds, you're going to get up to medium, medium-high, and you're going to let that go for 10-15 minutes. at 10 minutes. We're going to take a look and see how it's peaking. You can see when I dip it, it has a slight tip. It stands up, the light turn. That is beautiful. Now, if your meringue is not setting up and your bowl still feels hot, which mine does because I did use it on the top, you can either transfer it to another bowl that is not hot and continue to mix for 5 minutes, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the yummy goodness and get it back into the dish, and then I'm going to put this in the fridge for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll be back and we'll get ready to do the butter. We are not going to put that butter into our meringue until our thermometer says 70 degrees. Actually, it's all going into the fridge for 5 minutes, excuse me, and then when I come back, I'm going to whip it 5 more minutes with the cold attachment and the cold bowl. So, I wanted you to know, oh, it already changed. I went and checked the temperature of the meringue when I put it into the fridge, and it was 110 degrees, so we definitely need to let it cool in the fridge for a bit. For the next step, our butter needs to be about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, so I did put it back in the refrigerator. That ended up being over an hour to cool, so I recommend that if you have 2 bowls, to go ahead and put the mixture not from your hot bowl, but change it over to a colder bowl. So I put my butter back in the fridge because it was getting too warm, and now that we are at the 60 degrees, I let it sit out for just about about 10 minutes, and our meringue is at 69 and 70 degrees. So we are going to get started with the butter. When we do the butter, we're going to start on slow. And we're going to add in one at a time and let it completely mix in between adding the next one. Looking good. Starting to turn that yellowish color. 1 tablespoon at a time. All the butter's in. I let it go for about another 10-15 seconds. And with the butter, I want to make sure it's completely incorporated. I've turned it down to medium. And I'm getting ready to incorporate my salt and my vanilla extract with my butter extract. And once I do this, it's about 30 seconds and we'll be done. Let's turn that up to medium real quick. And we're going to let it sit. We're going to take a look at our buttercream. And there is our buttercream. Beautiful. I don't want to touch it with the butter one, but there you go. All right, we'll get ready to pipe that and get spreading. Frosting is piped, or should I say our Swiss Meringue Buttercream. And I have my tip on. Use any one you want, what you're comfortable with. Touch down. And I'm just going to do a little swirl. And I want to do the same consistency across best I can. And I'm going to do that until I get across my whole top of my little cake. And then you can either decorate it or leave it as is. I like to kind of hang on to my tip when I'm doing this because my hands are warm. My kitchen's warm and I do not want my meringue to melt too much. But I don't want it too cold either, so it's a give and take. Now, I go ahead and set my meringue back in here. My tip is bent. You can see what I have done there. So here is the buttercream frosting. As you can see, it still stands up right in the piping bag, ready to go. Tastes like a marshmallow dream. So here we go. Visual of a buttercream that has been piped. That'll go back into the fridge to set up for at least 5-10 minutes. We're going to call that good. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you had a great time. If you enjoyed this video, share, like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me if you tried it out, what you do differently. Pass it along. Let your friends know. Have a great day. See you next time on Shauna's Kitchen.